Hi everyone, I'm Jong, and on behalf of my co-authors, I'm presenting the paper Impact of Agent-Generated Rationales on Online Social Conformity. So digital agents powered by LLMs increasingly influence online discourse, as can be seen from some of these examples. And as LLMs can convincingly present arguments as human-like, in a human-like manner, they indeed strongly influence it, and they can do it even when they are incorrect. And therefore, this could reduce the diversity of opinions in a group, and therefore it's important to understand the impact that these LLMs have on people's beliefs. Conformity is a type of social influence that urges people to comply with the majority, even for wrong answers. And it has been studied for decades, going back to Ash's seminal work with this line matching task. And social conformity can happen for two different reasons. One of them is a normative social influence, that is the one you just saw in Ash's task, where people conform to be part of the group. So if a lot of other people answer the same answer, even if it's wrong, then they comply to that answer. And you have informative social influence, where people conform because they think that other people have better information and they want to be right. These experiments have, a lot of people have done these experiments in an online setting, where they tried to do the same experiment as Ash, but found that that was not replicated because there's less social pressure online, and therefore people don't exhibit this normative social conformity. But they did see informative social influence, where people, for more complex tasks, such as online quizzes, conformed to the answer. And there they saw that the size of the majority group matters. So if the majority group is bigger, then people are more willing to comply. And because virtual agents are increasingly part of the online discourse, we wanted to see what the influence of an LLM-powered agent is. So therefore, we had people answer multiple choice questions and then place them in a fabricated group distribution with other humans and an LLM also in a distribution. And then we presented them also with the agent's rationale for choosing this particular answer. And afterwards, people could change their answer. So an example of a normative question, so we had both normative and informative question. An example of a normative question would be this, where people had to select the statement that they most agree with. And in this case, it was particular views on nuclear energy. And for the informative questions, people had to answer knowledge-based questions, and they had to select the one that they thought was the correct answer. And after they had given their answer, they were placed in a distribution with a percentage of what people allegedly answered. Actually, these results are just fabricated, so there are no other humans in the loop. There are no people that answer this. That's what we just fabricated. Then they saw indeed sort of this percentage. So they were placed in one of these groups. And then they also saw indicators of, with the person icon was the answer that they themselves gave, and the robot icon was the answer that the agent gave. And we also showed them the rationale that the agent provided for this answer, which in this case obviously is wrong. And these were generated by GPT-4o. Then afterwards, they were able they had to answer the same question again, and they were able to change their answer. And conformity, we measured conformity as changing their answer to the majority answer. Then for the results, the agent placement was significant in our model. So here on the right-hand side, you see the situation where the agent is in the majority. And you see that people are changing a lot more when they are themselves in the minority and the agent is in the majority. While when the agent is in the minority, it is more mixed. You still see more people changing when they are themselves in the minority, but it is more mixed. So you see there the effect of the agent within this context. And also the majority size required for people to change was lower when the agent was in the majority. Then we compared the different question types. And there we saw that people were more willing to comply for informative questions, which is in line with the literature on online social conformity, as I told you before. But the effect of normative questions was also significant, which is an interesting finding because this is not replicated in studies on online conformity between humans and also not in robot conformity. And we argue that it is because the LLMs present the rationales in a very human-like manner and therefore impose more pressure. Then the implication, we argue that now that LLM-powered content creation is becoming more prevalent, where the LLM selects the web sources that people are presented with, or where the LLM summarizes the comment section of a social media post. If people conform to the majority, then this will limit the diversity of opinions, and the majority opinions will spread even faster. And linking this to earlier work that shows that LLM-powered search systems can reinforce people's beliefs, and that LLM-generated deceptive explanations can amplify belief in false news headlines. This will shape how what content people engage with, and therefore spread the majority even faster. Then we propose some solutions, and we link it to some other papers that have proposed solutions. So we think that there could be a more balanced output where LLMs are designed to be less confident in their answers. That could be a solution, or to highlight uncertain parts that the LLM is uncertain about. But that, of course, requires LLM designers to implement these changes. So therefore, we also argue that we should arm people to sort of challenge them by fostering reflection, by, for example, you could design systems to ask questions to the participants, or to play devil's advocate, where they present also arguments for the opposite position than the one that they initially present. And in this way, I urge the community to come up with more solutions for this problem, and to arm people to critically assess LLM-generated content.